Yo, so it's interesting. We starting on my video. Exactly as I click on it, you hear something like a gunshot and yeah. So what we have to address right now is simultaneous occurrences happening right now in Trinidad and Tobago. So this will make some people uncomfortable. You have a police officer that was pushed out of a window, dropping on a RAV4, damaging his skull along with his spine. Then you have TTPS bullets found on a murder scene in a gas station only 6 days ago. Then you have 3 individuals, 2 involved in nothing, 1 have criminal offenses and stuff. When you hear about a black cash guy moving in your area, what do you immediately think about? Asking for a friend. Other than that also, why it is the hush undertones that's going on in the nation right now. Everybody's talking about police interactions making certain things happen to make the Zozo bill get passed. Tell me I'm fucking lying. It's very interesting. For the past few weeks, myself, along with other content creators who care about the nation being censored. Censorship is a hell of a thing. It's just like having no glasses, lens in your whole frames, but still trying to be pronounced and intelligent. What's very interesting about that last statement I made, when somebody has the degree in, not in marketing, but in communications, it's very interesting. All of a sudden, a lot of people channels being copyright restricted, or suddenly bots come at your content to make sure that it gets muted. Interesting, isn't it? Yo, so here it is. What we need to have is a conversation about what's been transpiring and the people in denial of many things. You see, right now, Trinidad and Tobago, there are certain things that are going on simultaneously in the United States. And Marco Rubio has been found to be implicated in many things, including cocaine smuggling. What is transpiring right now? The people who push their heads in the sand to pretend like they don't know anything, it's coming to pass right now in Trinidad and Tobago. So how it is, we also had situations occurring, which part we have something called a Professional Standards Bureau, which part Suzette Martin was the head. And now, what is she doing? Oh, when you kidnap somebody with the assistance of your country's Department of Public Prosecutions, it's going to have fucking repercussions. So kidnapping is an interesting word. Listen to the word well. Right. When that transpires, and it's still in denial of things that are literally happening, people don't like to listen. But what's transpiring right now, what's going on with the police, is that they're making scenes happen and implicating themselves so easily that people noticing. So I highlighted Suzette Martin. It's real cool. Why I highlighted Suzette Martin, what's real cool, is that just like that laughter, people tend not to realize when other people are watching. It's interesting to have a small brain, but it's a vastly big thing to show it. So what's going on right now? With Suzette Martin bouncing down the small man, who assisted her was Roger Jasper, to have no more investigation in regards to breaking the light in the Quasi, nearly ripping off the small man's foot. So when you get assistance to kidnap somebody from Barbados, it's interesting. Plausible denial is some interesting words. So also with that being said, how it is we have a Bureau of Standards and people getting paid and nothing is changing. How it is we have a PCA in Trinidad and Tobago, which is the Police Complaints Commission or Authority, but yet still a man crying on TV to get 40,000 a month as his pay when people dying. It makes sense, right? Yo, it make real sense, but what going on with that is, when you're supposed to be working for the fucking people of Trinidad and Tobago, how it is that people are dying daily. All you're not fucking hearing what I'm saying. Did I stutter in any way? Is my voice not deep enough for you to understand what the fuck I'm saying? So I'm making another path this morning where I'm passing. Because there's an officer who arrested his father on smoking marijuana. But he didn't arrest his partners on cold-blooded murder. I want to call his name, but that would be petty, wouldn't it? It would be very petty to do something like that, eh? But that's why pottongs behind closed doors. An image is everything, like Sprite said. So, you hear any dog barking? Yeah. What's interesting about that is, last time I checked in the history of the world, even if he was a pathological motherfucking liar, Alexander the Great was great. Not the Alexanders that we have in Trinidad and Tobago at any fucking given day. So with that being said, Sandman was a nightmare fuel thing. Because of course, when you go to sleep, he robs you in your dreams. Freddy Krueger is scary. But when you're working for Sandman, and you see gold, that is your weakness, not mine. So what's going on in Tunapuna right now? How it is people from the Tunapuna Regional Corporation say that fellas from in the back of Tunapuna come there to get jobs because the Minister of Homeland Security promised them fucking work. Tell me that I'm lying now. Tell me that I'm lying. What's interesting, just like Movado said, me and me dogs, we barking strong. Yeah, so you're telling me that use my dogs and we barking strong. Don't worry, all you'll get work. But when they walk into regional corporation, guess what? They didn't get any jobs in any fucking format. What's interesting about that is the place is a small community. And stopping cars to check and see who in certain cars coming up in the area is very interesting when cocaine is selling a lot on people's blocks. So, let me get to this shooting now that happened by Despers. But more importantly, let me get to something that going on in Sandy Grande. Because all making me laugh, Trinidad and Tobago, let me ask all of this stupid question. Anytime you hear about a bomb scare in Port of Spain history, whether it's Republic Bank, First Citizens, Scotia, TSTT, even government offices that is on Richmond Street, it does usually last for an hour and a half. So how in fuck's sake you'll tell the nation, Sandy Grande to be exact, that you have a bomb scare, but the whole place blocked off from since morning, right? Lie to me about something else, you fucking assholes. Because it's getting impervious. When people have an agenda, they don't tell you, you know. Furthermore, it's Ramadan right now. So I'm just asking a stupid question. What is going on in the Mayaro police station? Why the officers are not suspended as yet? Why was Rajpat moved from Central Division to Western Division and in the charge room? Why Gooding and these other officers still have a job? Why does it have things on footage and people are not being reprimanded and charged? Why it is Roger Gaspard, gaslighting stupid ass, is not charging Susan Martin for many offenses? Why it is the former police commissioner have to be saying things for people to be observing? Why it is the media is covering up stories? And furthermore, why it is a Batman jumping on the commissioner's back in a bikini? Did I fucking stutter? No. Stop having 9-day fucking syndrome with what's going on in our country. Stop being submissive and bending over and accepting what they're giving you easily. You like dildos in your butt? No, I'm gonna pass on that one. Yeah. Also, why it is people from Santa Cruz have to be talking about what a minister still is doing. Nothing that I've said in the past few minutes is lies. Why it is your mother is known to plenty Baptist churches to be a Opia woman, and she's from Maruga, and Cornox died many years ago. Furthermore, why it is that the white glasses man still putting people in place and using very interesting people to sway propaganda and defame other people's names. You think I'm fucking lying? Dale, how are you going? You overweight piece of shit. And racist at that too. Right. What's interesting, I don't see Trinidadians as an ethnicity. I see us as Trinidadians. So when you're doing horse shit and stuff, just remember there's repercussions for all your fucking actions. Superior Regional Corporation, Mayaro, and San Fernando is some serious places. And it will always have altercations because people don't want to be fucking listening. You can deny how much you fucking want, but I'm not chocolate stealing. But it's only chocolate people that you're hurting. Tell me that I'm fucking lying. I walk out in a different direction because it's interesting. Since they always victimize people who own Tidas or Aquas, especially if they're white, especially if it's a certain ethnicity. White is always fucking lying to do things on purpose to make all themselves look good, but it's not helping any fucking body, especially Trinidad and Tobago. It's very easy to be suppressed, oppressed, but democracy is very different to fucking dictatorship. Knows this. 9J syndrome is very interesting. You could have none in the chamber, but remember 17 in the fucking clip. You know what real interesting though? I never suffer from greed. And furthermore, it have a song from Garnet Silk I love. Your belly full but you're starving. Yeah, people don't take reference to things that being sung in music and things that really fucking happening. You know what's real interesting to me, boy? The silence that you get from certain people when the truth is told. And how come the truth have people emphasizing now that it's hurting? People have told me in the past few weeks my wisdom showing. No problem. I love my gray hair. But the things what I'm saying is what they're referring. I laugh at assholes, especially racist ones, because trust me, I don't take cocaine, but I see what cocaine can do. So when radioactive iguanas lash out and they get criticized from people like me, why it is they just get silent and people have to say, ooh. You know what's interesting? The Syrians and the Chinese has fucked up our nation so much that people still not trying to realize. But so much boats came in for Carnival with illegals on it. And this was the worst carnival in Trinidad and Tobago history. But don't tell certain hey ha entertainers that, or the shock value individuals who try to make you laugh every day for the matter of fucking deflection. You know why I'm highlighting that more? Because right now is March 3rd and the Zozo bill was not passed. Also, the encouraging of murders to emphasize that the SOE needs to return was done by fucking police situations. TTPS shells, 42,627, I believe it was, is what was missing. Don't tell me it's a fucking typographical error. You know what's interesting with that though? More injustice being shown. You want to stick your head in the sand for that one also? So I keep fixing this because of course my handle for my glasses is broken on one side. Think about how a glasses handle breaks, and if you don't take care of your shades, the sun will burn your fucking eyes. I like those who like to be in denial of the truth. But when you have a sodomite contingent, whether in the judiciary, the police service, or in government, what the fuck will you go and do? It's Ramadan right now, and clearly a lot of people know that she can't address situations that she's doing because she knows many people who shovel snow, and we're not talking about anything that coming from the fucking coal. Plant-like substance is one thing, and birds that making interesting nest, just like in the Amazon forest. It happens in Trinidad and Tobago frequent. So when you pay people, and I'm getting back to the point because a certain sodomite thinks he's smart, but it didn't work out like that. And when you can't hold your liquor, having videos of paid Americans to make Trinidad and Tobago look good when you're fucking doing segregation practices and rituals is very interesting. especially for those that actually call themselves fucking men. I'm not a beta in any format. I don't even like beta cassettes. But trust me, when you're a wolf, you can see what is manliness, and you can see definitely what is a pussy behavior. It's interesting, and I'll leave you guys with this point because I didn't try to really come out here to make a video this morning, but being that it is third, and I got 637 messages before 6 a.m. talking about the Zozo bill, the police affected situation, along with a certain bumpy face minister who's a pathological liar, who's addicted to gold and other people's properties at every instant. Eccentric is a word I usually put in regards to geniuses. But what's going on right now, eccentric is a word for people who are fucking hypocrites. When you're eccentric, I don't mind you being that way. Morning. I don't mind you being that way at all, being eccentric. But at least profit Trinidad and Tobago to making us a better nation in all aspects. Self, want, and greed is a hell of a thing. Having wisdom while taking care of your temple is a whole other ball game. The evil that is shown and the disrespect to God is carrying on and transitioning into another type of demon. Manipulation only works on those who have weak minds and don't want to see the situation. So we'll get back to this immediately. 9-day forgetfulness is something Trinidad suffers from. But if you leave your hair open and they call you a madman and they call you a monkey, it's okay with a certain regime. A regime that is balancing with fear and oppression. They can't control individuals who have a brain, but they do try. And the thing about it, mashing up somebody's name to get your point across shows your intelligence is smaller than even flies. It makes me laugh because music is a big part of my life. So when you're a perfectionist, and furthermore you actually went abroad to be a perfectionist, did they also teach you to lie, or did they teach you to be a sodomite? Asking for a friend who actually loves women and not men's wives. Only. So from this, it's interesting. I've said a lot in these past few minutes, but let's see if a certain Batman minister is going to censor my video again. What's interesting, they always say I'm the person who's the voice for the voiceless. 62,834 people unemployed in 10 months. Doesn't that say something? 180 million is what you need to raise for the IMF to give us this morning. 180 million is what the IMF need to hear from us, along with job cuts, along with cuts on spending. So I'll ask you this now, in closing. Could your grandchildren pay back 2.7 billion US in the next 30 years? The reason I'm asking you that, what do we have right now in Trinidad and Tobago generating Forex? I'll wait on that answer with Mountain Dew and popcorn while I'm there back in our boxers saying, yeah, yellow is the code, brethren. And just remember, people who get pizza and 50,000 from a government minister still smiling, while an asshole is on a state board. But there's no performances, and Simon gives people water jobs when he has no masters or degrees to his name. With that being said, as usual, Trinidad and Tobago, I love you guys. Shocking truth hurts those who not used to getting sodomized. See you on the flip side if they don't censor me again this time. Deuces.